Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to show you how to do this beautiful blanket. This is getting called Any Which Way. Now there's a few of these on YouTube already, but look at this. This is absolutely beautiful. Now please don't think for a minute, oh, I'm never going to be able to do that. You will be able to do this. It's done in a square, not unlike a granny square, and you just do row after row after row. It's a 2 row repeat. It's only a 2 row repeat, and I've done this in a lemon double knitting. Your first row is sets of 6. Your second row, you will do your corner, you're doing one set of 2 and then a set of 6. Then it's sets of 6. Your second row is your set of 2 and then your sets of 6. It's the set of 2 that it helps to increase your your blanket. And when you do the set of 2 and you do your little square here, it's called a fillet blanket. When you do crochet like this that has holes, it's called a fillet, and it's a bit like when we did the Call the Midwife blanket. Now this style is sort of from the 60s as well. I have seen my mother had this, but it was a knitting pattern. My mother had quite a lot of knitting patterns from the 50s, the 60s, and so on. And the little box one that we did from the little box one we did with the flower in it with the little squares. This is quite similar to do those little squares. It's really easy. Now this is easy. Once you've got the grasp of those two rows, then you're going to sail through this. What I will say to you is pause the video, get your hook, get your yarn, and pause the video as you go along and catch up with me. I am going to do a sample of this, and the sample I'm going to use this. This is a Bambino. It's called Bambino and it's by Stylecraft. It's a double knitting and it's a really pretty yarn. So this is what I'm going to use my sample for. And this one is just a lemon double knitting. It's just a normal double knitting yarn. It's quite a thin one. I used a 3.5mm crochet hook for this. I've done 30 rows, 30 rounds. I went around my square 30 times. I did 1 row of treble crochets to finish off the edge, and the border that I did with this one is a V stitch. It's 3 rows. I'll try and get that out of the way so you can see it. It's 3 rows of V stitch and then a fan on the top. Now you can either do a set of 5 in the fan or you can do 7. Now this lemon is the it's the Home Bargains lemon. It's quite thin and I put 7 in. I think with this one I'll need to just do 5. It's just slightly, even though it's still double knitting, it's just a little bit slightly thicker. So what I'm going to do is I am going to show you how to make this any which way round blanket, and give it a try. Please don't think that you're not going to be able to do this. You will have confidence in yourself, and it is so pretty. Look at that, it is so pretty. You don't need to do the border if you don't want. You can just finish it here. You can finish it on that treble crochet row. That's one whole row of treble crochets. You can finish the blanket there. You don't need to do that border. You can do a different border if you want. I will show you how to do that border though. And like I said already, get your hook, get your yarn, and let's make any which way round blanket. Look at this. Do this beautiful 60s style, 50s and 60s style baby blanket. It is so pretty. a magic circle. The magic circle pulls the middle of your blanket in really tight, and it's a little bit better than doing a circle of chains. I'm just going to wrap my yarn over like this. I've got the tail end here. It's rather like a large slip knot. Just put your hook under and pull your yarn through like this. Just get your working yarn and pull it up to your hook, and you've got this loop like this. Just pull it in a little bit. Now we're going to chain 5, and the chain of 5 will be one of your treble crochets and a corner space. So chain 5 to begin with. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now it's rather like doing a granny square to start off with. You're going to put 2 treble crochets, that's 2 UK treble crochets into this circle. If you're in the USA, that's a double crochet. You're going to put 2 in. That's 1 and 2. Now we're going to do another corner space. We're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Put 2 more UK treble crochets into your circle. And if you're in the USA, this is a double crochet. That's 1 and 2. Now you're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Do 2 more treble crochets. That's 1 and 2. You're going to chain 3. 1, 2, 3. And do 1 treble crochet. Now what you have is, this will be a corner, that's a corner, that's a corner, and so is that. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 big spaces. Now take the tail end of your magic circle and pull it. Now look what's going to happen. It's going to pull that into the little shape for your square. You're going to join your little square into the 3rd stitch. Count 1, 2, 3. Just go through that stitch. Make sure you're not got any little ends, and slip stitch through. So what you have is your starting square, the very centre of your blanket. So what you're going to do now is you're going to go into the chain space. We're going to slip stitch into the chain space. So put your hook through the chain space, pull your yarn through and slip through that stitch. And that means we're working inside this corner. Now these are your corner spaces, and we're going to be doing 6 treble crochets. If you're in the USA, that's 6 double crochets. Every row will start with a chain of 5, and that will be you making a corner. You'll see that as we go. So chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. That chain of 5 will be a treble. One part of it will be the treble crochet for this side here, once we go all the way around. So into this chain space you're going to put 2 treble crochets. So yarn over and go into that corner space and do 2 treble crochets. That's 1 and 2. Now into the top of this treble crochet and that one, you'll put another treble crochet. Yarn over and go into the top of this one and do the same to the top of the next one. So you should have 4 treble crochets. So we've got 1, 2, 3 and 4. Into this corner you're going to put 2 treble crochets into this corner to make 6. Most of the time we'll be doing 6 treble crochets. So you've got 6 there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now chain 3. This is your corner. 1, 2, 3. Now into this space, 2 treble crochets, put one on top of that one on top of that one, then 2 into this space to make 6. So yarn over and go into that corner space. That's 1 treble crochet, 2 treble crochets into the space. Now 1 on top of that treble and 1 on top of that one. So right into the top of that treble crochet and do 1 into the top of your next one. That's it's got 4. So we're going to put 2 into this corner space here. 2 treble crochets. 1 and 2. Now if you're following along, you can pause the video down there, down over here I think it is. Just pause the video and go back and then work your way around again and you can follow along with me. Now you can see what's happening here. So we've got our 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Chain 3 for the corner, 1, 2, 3. So what we're going to do now is 2 treble crochets, a treble crochet in this stitch, 1 in this stitch, and then another 2 into that space. That makes 6 treble crochets. That's 1 into the space, that's 2, 1 in the top of this stitch, that's 3, 1 into the top of this stitch, that's 4, and 2 more into the space to make 5 and 6. It's 5 and 6. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now into there you're going to put 2 treble crochets. You're going to put 1 into the top of there, 1 into the top of there, and you're going to squish 1 into the side of there, and this chain becomes your 6th one, that one there. So we're going to put 2 treble crochets into this corner space. That's 1, 2, 1 into the top of that treble there, 1 into the top of the next treble, and you're going to put 1 into this space here. That's 5, and part of that chain of 5 is going to make your 6th one. So count 3, 1, 2 and 3. Now go through the chain here and do a slip stitch. We're going to slip stitch to join that round, and that's you got your next square. You're going to slip stitch into that space and pull through, and then we're going to go on to round 3. So you should have 6 treble crochets, a chain 3 space, 6, a chain 3, 6, a chain 3, and then 6 and your last corner space. These next 2 rows are the 2 rows that you'll continue to repeat. We have to budge these 6 stitches over 2 spaces. We need to move them over so that you start to get that any which way pattern on it. I'll get my blanket and I'll show you this. So I'll get my blanket on. What I'm going to show you is, let me get my crochet. And this is the center of our blanket, and that is our little square that's going to go with it. Now what you can see is we need to keep our corners, but we need to start doing these extra fillet spaces. So you're going to have this row here where you've got 2 and then 6. Your next row will be 6 and 6. Then it'll be 2 and 6 and 6. And then your 6, 6, 6. And then your 2. So every other row will start with 2, and then you'll have your square 6, you'll skip 2, 6, skip 2, 6, all the way around your blanket. So as you can see, every second row has 2 stitches. There's 2 there, then that's got 6, then you've got 2 there, you've got 6, and you've got 2. So that is how you build this pattern, and it's those 2 stitches that moves that square there, but you still keep your corners. There's your corners there. Now I'll explain that a little bit more, but it's nice when you can actually see what the pattern is going to look like as well. It's nice when you can see what you're doing or see what's been done. So what we're going to do again is we're going to chain 5. We'll always be chaining 5. You'll always slip into the corner and you'll always chain 5 at the beginning of a row. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Now into this corner here we're going to do 2 treble crochets. This is the start of our, let's call it a shuffle. We're going to shuffle the stitches along. So we're going to put 2 treble crochets in there. Now you're going to chain 2, 1, 2. That's going to make up for the 2 stitches we're going to skip. So we're going to skip that treble crochet and that one. Then we're going to do these 4. We're going to put a treble crochet above each of these 4 stitches. Then we'll put 2 into this corner, and that'll give us our 6 back. So we're shuffling them along. So skip 2, 1, 2, and we're going to do a treble crochet into the next 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And we need 6. We need to keep our count of 6. Put 2 into that corner. That's 1 and 2. So what you've done is you've shuffled your 6 across. So you've now, this is still your corner. If you want, you can put some markers in here, because this will always be your corner. This one here. And this row you've got your extra 2. We're shuffling our 6 along. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and go into your corner again. You're going to put 2 treble crochets, 1 and 2. So just like here, 2 treble crochets, chain 2, and you're going to skip 2. So chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, 1, 2, and then do 1 treble crochet into the next 4. So skip that one and skip that one. And we're going to do 1 into each of these 4 treble crochets into the top of a stitch. That's 3, and that one's 4. Put 2 into the corner, that makes our 6. That completes our section of 6. Chain 3 for the corner, 1, 2, 3. We're going to put 2 treble crochets in, so we can do our little shuffle along, 1 and 2. We're going to skip 2 stitches, so we need to chain 2, 1, 2. That covers the 2 that we're skipping, and then do a treble crochet into the next 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. You're going to put 2 into the corner to make her 6, 1 and another one. That makes 6. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And as you can see, this is what it's doing. It's giving you an extra space, but it's keeping your corner. That's your corner there. In between these two sets will always be your corner, not that one. You'll have 2 there and 2 there. That is your corner all the time there. And we're shuffling our 6 stitches across by skipping 2 trebles, chaining 2, and it makes that little box there. So now we're doing a corner again. So chain 3, 1, 2, and 3. If you get a little bit lost, just rewind the video. If you rewind the video and crochet along, you'll get the hang of this, no problem at all. So into here, you're going to do 2 treble crochets, 1 and 2. So that's made your corner again, that's your corner. We're going to skip 2, these 2 stitches, chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, and put a treble crochet in the top of these 4 stitches. So skip that one and skip that one, treble crochet into that one, treble crochet into that one. That's 2. That one's 3. One more is 4. Now we need 6, remember. So we've got 1 off that chain of 5. We're right around to the end. We're going to put 1 into there. That makes 5. And that one there makes 6. So count 1, 2, 3 and slip stitch to close the round. Then slip stitch into the corner so we can start the next round. And this is what you've got. You've got your first little shuffle row. I'm going to call it a little shuffle row. So we're going to begin the next row again with a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So we've done a chain of 5 and we're going into the corner space and putting 2 treble crochets into the corner. 1 and 2. Now we're going to create another set of 6. We've got 1, 2. We're going to put 1 on top of this treble. That makes 3. 1 on top of there is 4. And we're going to put 2 into that chain space there. So we've got 1, 2. Do 1 into the top of there is 3. 1 into the next stitch at the top is 4. Put 2 into the chain space. That's 5. 1 more makes our 6. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2 to separate your sets of 6. Skip 2 and do these 4 and put 2 into that corner to make 6 stitches. So skip these 2, yarn over, you're going to skip that stitch and skip that stitch and work these 4 here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. 2 into the corner space. 1 and 2. Chain 3 because we're on the corner. 1, 2, 3. And we're going to repeat the same for the next side. And this is what you've got. We're scooting that little block along the way. Every row, these sets of 6, every second row, these sets of 6, you'll have more. So we're going to just repeat this side down these 4 edges. So we need to make these 2 into 6. So we're going to put 2 treble crochets. We've done our chain of 3 for our corner. That's 1 and 2 into that space. You're going to put a stitch above each of these 2. So that makes your 3rd one and your 4th one. And you're going to put 2 into that space. And that makes your set of 6. Chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, skip that one, skip that one. And you'll do 4 treble crochets along this line and 2 into the space to make 6. So we've got 4 into this corner space, that's 5 and 6. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3 because it's your corner, 2 into the corner space and 2. Put 1 treble crochet above each of these 2 stitches. That makes our 3 and our 4 of that set of 6. 2 into that space, that's 5 and 6. Chain 2 to separate your sets of 6. Skip 2, skip that one, skip that one, and then do your next set of 6. We're going to build up the next set. 1, oops, 2, 3 and 4. Put 2 into the corner, 1 and 2. That makes 6. Just check. Just give it a little check, counting that you've got 6, because you always need your sets of 6. So as you can see, you've got 2 in a set of 6, then 2 sets of 6. Your next row will be 2, a space, and then we'll have sets of 6. And that is your repeat. That one where you've got 2 in your space, and then your 6s, and then your corner, and your 6s like this. You're cotton on to this. What you do is you get your yarn and get your hook and just crochet along until you get this into your head. And as you can see, your sets of 6s are offsetting each row. And as you offset, you're adding more in as we go along. And that's what makes that any which way pattern. So we've got our 6 stitches here and we're at the corner. So chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to turn these 2 into a set of 6. We need a set of 6 here. So 2 into the corner. You're always going to have 2, a chain of 3 and 2 in your corners, whether it's for that little extra. This is like an increase row, this one here, where you add these 2 in a space. It's like we're increasing every row we go around and around. So 2 treble crochets into here, that's 1. We're going to build a set of 6, that's 2. 1 into this next stitch, that makes 3. 1 into the next one is 4, and 2 into that chain space, that's 5 and 6. So we're going to do a chain space to split our set of 6s up. Chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, skip that one, skip that one, and we're going to do our stitches along. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Now we're at the end of that round, so you'll put 1 into the chain space to make 5. Just count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you're going to slip stitch into the third chain, slip stitch, and then go into the space and slip stitch into the space. And this is what we've got. Don't worry about it looking a little bit sort of squinty, it's because we've been pulling it round. It will straighten itself out, and that is where you can clearly see your corners. And then this is our little sets of 6, and as you can see it's turning into that any which way around. I'll get my blanket again. So I'll get my blanket in, and I'll get my new square, and there we go. I'll pop that over the top of that one, and as you can see it's matching up to that. That's your corners, and then we've got our little fillet holes with our sets of 6. And as you can see, each round you're getting more and more sets of 6 on, and your little spaces are moving around as well. It's really pretty. Now you should really give this a try. I'll do a couple of more rounds with you so that you can really get the hang of these 2 rows. So it's this row and this row we're repeating. So what we'll be doing now is do a chain of 5. We'll put 2 treble crochets into the corner. We're going to chain 2 and skip 2, and then do our 6 from here. We'll be putting 2 stitches. So as you can see it here like this. So this is what we'll be doing. We're doing this row here. And as it grows, it's really pretty, and it's really pretty in the sage, and it's really pretty in the lemon. It's really nice in that yarn. So I'll move that back out of the way just now. I'll pop that there. So what we're going to do now is chain 5. We're on another row. Chain 5, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, and that becomes one of your treble crochets for this set of 6 that's here. Into the corner now we're going to do that little 2 that we did here. We're repeating this one here. So 2 treble crochets into the corner, 1 and 2. We're going to chain 2 because we want to shuffle our set of 6 along the way. Chain 2, 1, 2. So we're repeating this row here. Skip 2, skip that one and skip that one, and work these 4 stitches. Put 1 treble crochet into these 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3 and 4. You're going to put 2 into the chain space to make 6. 4, that's 5, and another one into the chain space makes 6. Chain 2, 1, 2. Skip 2, skip that one and skip that one, and we're going to work these 4 and then put 2 into the corner. So that's 1, 2, 3, some more yarn, that's 3 and 4. 2 into the corner to make our 6. That's 5 and 6. Now we're going to do our corner because we're at the corner. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to put 2 into this corner space, 1 and 2. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2. So we're repeating this row. We're going to skip 2, do 6, skip 2 and do 6. So we're going to skip that stitch and that stitch, and we're going to work these 4, 1, 2, 3 and 4. 2 into the chain space, that's 5 and 6. So we're going to chain 2 to split the sets of 6 off, skip 2 and do 6 treble crochets. That's 2, that's 3, that's 4, and 2 into the corner to make her 6. That's 5 and that's 6. And that's what it's looking like. And you can see your sets of 6 and your little. So we've done that set and we're at the corner. So it's chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to put 2 into this corner, 1 and 2. We're doing our chain 2, remember, 1, 2, skip 2, skip that stitch and that stitch, and do your next set of 6 stitches. I'll get some more yarn out. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 into the chain space. That's going to make our set of 6. Chain 2 to separate your sets. I've got Muttley running around on the floor there. We're skipping 2, 1, 2, and do your next set of 6. So you'll have 4 stitches plus put 2 into the corner. 1, that's 4, sorry. And 2 into the corner space. That makes 6. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, because we're at the corner, and we're going to do this last line. And don't worry, like I said about it, as it gets bigger, it's going to sort of stretch out, and these are your little any which way, and you can still clearly see your corner squares. Now, if you're going to think you're going to get lost with all these spaces, put a pin, put a safety pin or a piece of coloured yarn into the corner spaces so that you know that's where your corners are. And as you can see, it's sets of 6. You're doing your 2, 6, 6. You'll have 2, then 6 and 6. Then your next round, you'll have just your sets of 6. There won't be any 2. Every second row, you'll have your little set of 2 here. And that's what helps to extend your blanket. It helps to increase your blanket. So into here, you're going to do 2 treble crochets. And if you're in the USA, this is a double crochet. You're going to chain 2, 1, 2, because we're moving our set along. Skip 2, 1, 2, do your 4 treble crochets and 2 into the space. It's 1, 2, 3, and 4, 2 into the chain space to make our 6, that's 5 and 6, chain 2, 1, 2, we're going to do our next little box, skip 2, skip that one and skip that one, and work along, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, now we're right back at the beginning, we need to put number 5 into the corner space and slip stitch. This part is now number 6. 1, 2, 3 into the third chain, the third stitch in that chain, slip stitch, and then slip stitch into the corner so we can start the next round. And I'll pop that down so you can see what it's looking like. And this is how it looks. So now we're going to do our sets of 6 here. We're going to go across these gaps. We'll have a gap further over and then your sets of 6. So we're doing your sets of 6 again. So start with a chain of 5. Always start your round with a chain of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And like I said, just rewind the video. Rewind the video if you're getting lost. And you should be able to do this because one round is sets of 6, then you've got 2 and your 6s. Then it'll be sets of 6, then your 2 and your 6s. So into this corner we're going to do 2 treble crochets. We're going to start repeating this row and doing our blocks of 6. So 2 treble crochets, that's 1 and 2, 1 into the top of these 2 trebles, that makes 3 and 4, and put 2 into the chain space to make our 6, 1 and 2, so that makes 6. So we've got a little block of 6 again, chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, 1, 2, and we're going to do 6 treble crochets along here by using these 4 and putting 2 into the chain space. And 2 into the chain space to make our 6. Chain 2, 1, 2, skip 2, 1, 2, and we're going to do our 6 treble crochets along. So it'll be 4 stitches and 2 into the corner. And 2 into that corner. So we're on chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to put 2 into the corner, work above these 2, and 2 more into the chain space. You'll chain 2, skip 2, work these 4, put 2 into that space, just like we did down here. We're going to work our way all the way around. So we're at the corner, so it's 2 into the corner, 1 and 2. Now we're going to put 1 above both of these treble crochets. We're building our next block, 2 into the chain space, and that will make our 6. So every time you do 6, you need to do a chain 2 and skip 2. Chain 2, skip 2, and then work 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, your other 2 will go into the chain space, 5 and 6, chain 2, you're going to skip 2 and work these 4 and put 2 into that corner. That's 1, 2, 3 and 4, 2 into the corner to make her 6. Chain 3 because we're at the corner, 1, 2, 3, 2 into that same corner, so we've got 2, we're going to use those 2 and put 2 in the space to build our block of 6. That's 3, 4, 5 and 6. Chain 2, skip 2 and do 6 treble crochets along. That's 4, that's 5 and 6. Chain 2, skip 2 and do your last block of 6 on this round. That's 2, 3 and 4. 1 into the corner because we've already got that chain of 5. So you're going to slip stitch into the 3rd chain to close this round off. Slip stitch through and then slip stitch again into the corner. And that's that round done. And as you can see, it's growing really, really well. Now your next round is going to be that 2 again. So around here, I'll turn it the right way around. We're going to start with 2 treble, we'll do a chain of 5, 2 treble crochets, skip 2, then do a block of 6, 2 treble crochets, skip 2 and do your block of 6 all the way along. And when you get to this corner, it'll be the same. Do 2, chain 2, skip 2 and do your blocks of 6 around like that. And look how pretty it's getting. It's getting really pretty. Now what you need to do if you get stuck, just rewind the video and watch it again. Get your hook, get your yarn and work along with me. Start the video from the beginning. Anytime you need to pause, then just click on that pause button and work along. Once you grasp these 2 rows, these are your 2 repeat rows, and as long as you remember to do that set of 2, because this is going to be what increases each round. So this is what's going to be increasing each round as you go. So I've done 10 rows and this is what my little blanket looks like. So all you'll do is keep going around and around and around and around for as many rows as you want. Now my yellow one was 30 rounds. I did 30 rounds on it. So what I'm going to do now is, do you know something? These would make lovely granny squares as well. You can actually just do this until it's a size that you like. Do a different one another colour and then do another one a different colour, and then you can actually join them together and you can actually put them in different ways. You can even join them like this and have other squares on the sides with your little square parts going the other way. It's really versatile, this. I just thought of that you could actually just do this in squares. So what I'm going to show you now is I'm going to do one full round of UK treble crochets. If you're in the USA, that is a double crochet. I'm going to do one into the top of every stitch and put two into my chain space. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to chain three. One, two, three. Now into this space here, I'm going to put two treble crochets, one and two, and into the top of every stitch, I'll put one treble crochet into the top of every stitch. When I get to the chain space, I'll put two into the chain space, and I'll do that all the way around. So once your blanket's as big as you want it, if you want to do the same border as me, this is what I did. I've got two, one, two, three, four, five. Should have six. One, two, six. Right, I'm going to put two into the chain space and work my way along. When I get to the corner, I'll put two in, I'll chain three, and then I'll put another two in, and then I'll do the same right around my whole square. So once I've got that done, I'll come back and show you what to do next. So this is your very last row of your blanket. You can just finish it like this. You can, if you want, just finish it with that row of treble crochets all the way around. But I'll show you how I did that V-stitch border on it. Doing my UK treble crochets all the way around my square that I've got, and you do the same. As long you should have an even number down each side. Now I'm sorry about the light going and coming. It's quite cloudy. One minute it's cloudy and the next minute it's sunny outside, so there isn't anything I can do about the light. So I'm going to show you how I finished this anyway around blanket. It's a really beautiful 60s style blanket, and I'm going to do it with this V-stitch and this 7 treble crochet fan on it. So I'll put that aside. So I finished doing my treble crochets all around the blanket, and I put two into each space. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to chain three. That's one, two, three. That's the first part of our first V stitch. Now into that space in there, I'm going to do a treble crochet. Now this is the corner. So I'm going to chain my three, and I'm going to put another V stitch in here. So that's another two treble crochets, one and two. Now I'm not putting a chain in between my treble crochets. I'm just leaving it like that. We're going to skip two stitches. So skip one and two, and then into the next stitch, the top of the next stitch, put two treble crochets, one and two. Skip two. You're going to do that all the way along. One, two, skip, and then we'll put two treble crochets into the same stitch, and this is going to make our V stitches all along. Skip two, skip one, two, and then do a V stitch all the way along the edge of your blanket. Skip two and a V stitch, and this is what it's going to look like all the way around. When I get to the corner, I'm going to put a V stitch, chain three, and a V stitch, and then I'll skip 2 and I'll do my V-stitches all away, all along this edge, just the way I'm showing you. So skip 2, then you're going to skip 2 and you're going to do a V-stitch into this corner. So that's 2 treble crochets, chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and put another 2 treble crochets into this corner. Skip 2 and then do your V-stitch again all the way along. We're going to do that all the way around the blanket like this, all the way around. So once I get right round to the end, I'll show you what to do next. So I've got all the way around with my V-stitches on the blanket like this. I'm going to get my other blanket and show you the shell that's on it. Now on this one, I've got these little shells. Now these ones, so I've got these little shells on it and I'm going to put 5 treble crochets into each V-stitch here. Then I'll do a double crochet, that's a UK double crochet. Then I'll do another shell, do a double crochet into the next one, then shell into the next one. Now it depends on what your tension's like. 5 treble crochets might be enough for you, or you might be able to get away with 7 on it. On this one, I did 7, but I did use a smaller hook with this one. I've just realised that. I've been using a 4 hook with that, but with the lemon, I used a 3.5 crochet hook with that. I've just remembered that. And there is a right and a kind of a wrong side on it. It's kind of what you would think like a sort of matte looking on this side, and the pattern's a little better on this, but it's very 60s style and it's really, really pretty. It's really nice. So I'm going to show you anyway. I'm sticking with this crochet hook that I've got, this 4mm here. So I've got my way, oh, I've got myself all the way round with my V stitches. I've done 3 rows. In each corner I did 2 V stitches and a chain of 3. So what I'm going to do is into this V stitch, I've slipped stitch into that V stitch there, and I'm just going to do a chain 1. Now into my corner, in the corners I'm going to put 7 treble crochets, but when I do it around the edge I'm only going to put 5 in because this is a slightly bigger hook. So it's up to you to judge your fan. If your fan looks, if your blanket looks like this and it looks too sort of wavy, you've got too many in it, so then just adjust it to suit your tension. So into this corner I'm going to put 7 treble crochets. If you're in the USA, that's a double crochet. I'm going to put 7 into that corner. Just in the corners I'm going to do 7. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Into the next one I'm going to do a double crochet. If you're in the USA, that's a single crochet. Into the next V stitch, so I went into the V stitch with that double crochet. I'm going to put 5 treble crochets into here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Into the next V stitch I'm going to put a double crochet just to lock that fan in. Then I'll do my shell or a fan, whatever you want to call it. I'm going to put 5 into this V stitch. 3, 4, and 5. Double crochet into the next V-stitch and then do my fan again, or shell, whatever you want to call it. 2, all into the same stitch. 3, 4 and 5. Double crochet into the next V-stitch and skip along to the next V-stitch, and that's what you get this pretty little fan along the edge of your blanket. Now when you get to the corner, I'm going to put 7 treble crochets in the corner, then I'll do a double crochet and then a fan, a double crochet and a fan, double crochet and a fan, all the way along, and then at this corner I'll put 7 in and work my way along. Now if you've got an odd one when you get to here, just skip it and go in and do your fan. So if you've got a double crochet here, don't do that one, it's going to be too much at that corner. Just skip it and go in there and do your shell into that corner with your 7 treble crochets and see how it looks. Now it looks really pretty with 5 in it, but that other blanket's got 7 because I used a smaller hook. I used a smaller hook with that other blanket. So in here we're going to do our 5 treble crochets. 2, 3, 4 and 5. Skip to the next V-stitch and do a double crochet and then do another fan all the way along. Do 7 treble crochets in the corner, 7. Even if you've got to skip that one, if you've got too many, then do 7 in the corner, it'll kind of hide it. And then double crochet, fan, double crochet, fan, double crochet and fan, and we're going into the V stitches. We're not going into the parts in between, we're going into the V stitches, and it's really pretty. Look at that, it's so pretty. My square done, and your blanket will be bigger than this unless you only intend to do it the same size as this. Now I just need to pull that tail end through that last stitch, and then I'll stitch that in with a darning needle, and look at that, it's so pretty. This is a really pretty blanket stitch. It's really nice and 60s style as well, and it's like on some of the other videos on YouTube, it's like an any which way, so you can have it going that way, you can have it going that way. The other side of it is there is slightly like a right and wrong side, and I will stitch in my little tail end. There's a slight difference on the back than there is to the front. It looks a little bit more flat on the front, but it can still be reversible. It's still really pretty, and it's really nice in this bambino style craft. I've got one left. Now my large lemon blanket, the large blanket that I did took 400 grams of yarn. Blanket a try. It's beautiful. It's beautiful for newborns. It's a beautiful pattern just to make a lapgan with it. You don't need to do this border. You can do a different border on it. It's up to you. You don't even need a border. You can stop once you've done that very last row of treble crochets, and you can leave it at that if you want. So please, if you haven't already subscribed to my channel, just click on that subscribe button, and if you click on the bell icon, then YouTube will alert you when I put up another tutorial. So I'll see you all again soon. Goodbye.